Is it wrong to let joy in while you're grieving? Does allowing light back into your life mean you love them any less? Welcome to the Life Doula podcast, where we talk about the things most people avoid: cancer, grief, dying, and the radical act of healing. We hold space for healing, not just surviving. In today's episode, Love, Loss, and Living Again, a widow's brave yes to joy, we sit down with a remarkable woman, a doctor, a mother, and a widow who lost her husband suddenly to cardiac arrest. In the aftermath of grief, she found herself doing something unexpected, making room for joy, not in place of sorrow, but alongside it. This is a story of what it means to mother through mourning, to hold both devastation and delight, and to say yes to life again and again and again. I'd like to welcome and thank our guest for allowing our audience to hear her story, Dr. Casey Silino Akdal. Welcome, Dr. Casey Akdal. Thank you for coming over all the way from your place to join
Thank you. So, good morning. So, I'm Casey. So, yun nga, from your introduction, I'm a mom, I'm a doctor, and also a widow, a young widow. So,
How old are you, Dr. when you were widowed?
I was 39 years old.
Wow.
Diba sabi nila, life begins at 40. But I was 39 when I got widow. Yun, so, medyo mahirap, oo.
Yeah. So, Doctora, can you take us back at the beginning? Because you and Dr. Christian Akdal, you're both medical doctors.
Yes, he's
right?
an anesthesiologist and I'm an gynecologist. But we work sa different hospitals. So, I work in Laguna, he worked in Cavite. We met inside the hospital during my residency training. He was an anesthesiologist that time. And then...
How is he as a doctor, a dad?
Well, actually, I can say, as a husband, he's very loyal. For our 13 years of relationship as boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife, never siyang nagloko. So, he's very loyal. He's a good husband. And also to my kids. A very good father. So, even if he's busy in work, so, he make time talaga playing, pag mag-play with the kids. Basta, may time siya for the kids.
How many kids do you have?
We have 2. Tasha and Alessa. Tasha is 7 years old now and Alessa is 5, turning 6.
So, when Dr. Christian passed away,
They are
5 and 6?
Yes.
Wow.
4 and 6.
4 and 6.
4 and 6. And as a son and brother, he's very generous. I can say he's been a good son, a good brother to his siblings, to his family. So,
Work-wise, how is he?
he's very, workaholic. As in, focus niya is work. He's a friend to everyone. I can attest to that. Talagang,
So, laman ng OR.
yes, every day. Kumbaga, siyang first in, last out.
Wow.
So, 7 a.m., yan, start ng OR niya. And then, usually, he went home around 12 midnight,
Wow.
11 p.m. Earliest na siguro 7 p.m.
Wow.
So, very workaholic. Sabi nga niya, parang one of his friends told me that time na, alam mo, Casey, sabi nga ni, Chunky kasi yung nickname niya sa...
Chunky.
Chunky, yeah. Sabi ni Chunky nga sa work, parang si Casey, marunong siya mag-multitask. So, mother siya, she's a good mother, tapos a doctor, syempre, nag-work ako. Lahat ng household, alam niya, dun sa house kung merong problem, siya talaga nag-fix, siyang lahat. Ako, all I can do, all I can contribute in the family is, I need to work hard. Sabi niya, ito lang kasi yung kaya ko din naman. work. I need to work for my family.
But would you say he was working more than some of the doctors you know?
Kasi the problem, I don't know if it's a problem. Pero kasi, since he's a people person talaga, so he never said no.
Wow.
So kung merong OR, especially kung halimbawa kakilala niya, magre-refer sa kanya, lagi yang
Tanggap.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, kasi sinasabihan ko siya minsan pero sinasabi niya, kasi syempre, pakikisama. Paano naman daw? Kasi nakakahiya. So, kinakailangan kasi natin makisama, which is yun ang maganda. Kumbaga, kung meron talagang Mr. Congeniality Award.
Siya yun.
Siya.
Wow.
Siya ang nasa first place siya. So, yun yun. So, kaya, I think yung maganda, yung, sabi ko nga 45 years old, pero yung accomplishment niya is like a 90-year-old.
Wow.
Na he accomplished everything na in a span of 45 years. So siguro sabi ni Lord, okay, it's time to rest. Let's go back home and then rest na because you accomplished everything. Mission accomplished ka na dito.
Okay.
So,
for the perspective of everyone, this is really a really special time because we just finished commemorating 1 year.
1 year.
1 year death anniversary of Dr. Christian Akdal. Now, I would really indulge the audience to listen to this because this is a very rare type of losing someone. I always say as a grief coach, death is already hard, but the way Dr. Akdal passed away is a little different. So, Doctora, can you share with us, take us back 1 year ago and just recall that moment? So fast forward, you had to travel with your family, right? And typically, he would come home late, but that day, he told you he was coming home early.
Okay. Actually, 1 year ago, beginning of 2024, I had this anticipatory grief. I don't know, parang there's something, hindi ko maramdaman na parang there's something wrong during that January 2024 until September 2024. I prayed nga, sabi ko, Lord, I can say that I'm blessed. Kasi I'm blessed. So, sabi ko, siguro if may problem na dadating, please, sana kayanin ko.
So you had that knowing feeling that something was gonna happen?
Yes.
Hindi mo alam kung ano?
Hindi ko alam. So, pero malakas ang feeling ko na parang merong loss na mangyayari. So, pero I keep on praying lang. Until September 2024, me, my mom, and my sister decided to have a lunch out lang. Ang nakakatawa pa, lunch out like in Hong Kong, sabi namin, let's have a lunch out lang. That day, September 24, kasi it's a local holiday in Calamba. So, we had the lunch out lang. Parang we booked like 3 days before.
So, last minute plan.
Yes, last minute plan. Sabi namin, sige, lunch lang natin, try lang natin. Let's have a lunch. Alis tayo early morning ng 24, then we'll be back ng gabi din. So, sabi ko sa husband ko, gusto mo sumama? Sabi niya, hindi, sige kayo na lang kasi baka naman may OR siya. Sabi ko, hindi, kung wala ka namang OR, sama ka na sa amin. Until 2 days before noon, sabi niya, may nakaplan akong OR ng Tuesday. Sabi ko, sige, baka naman kasi if it's a long OR, baka sabay lang tayo makauwi. So, that by the time makauwi ako, baka mas mauna pa ako. Sabi niya, siguro nga. Di we're in Hong Kong. Actually, morning ng September 24, magka-text pa kami nag-goodbye pa ako sa kanya. Tapos sabi ko, I'm here na in Hong Kong. Tapos nag-video call kami. Pero very unusual. Sunod-sunod ang video call niya. No,
which doesn't happen every day.
Oo. So, sunod-sunod ang video call. Morning, nag-video call. Lunchtime, video call. Even nung afternoon. Sabi ko, even yung bago kami sumakay ng airplane, sabi ko, padating na ako dyan. So, once we're in Manila na, I'll call you. Sabi ko, kasi pa-take off na Sabi niya, sige. Tapos kasama niya ang kids at the background. So, kasama niya yung kids.
So, he's at home na?
Sabi ko, aga ng OR mo. Taga mo naman natapos. Hindi kasi maaga. Maaga, mabilis yung OR. Okay, sige. So, naglaro pa sila ng kids. And then, 10 p.m., I was in Manila already. So, I tried to call him. Sabi ko, hindi sumasagot. Nakailang missed call ako. Baka tulog na. Kasi usually gano'n naman yun. Minsan, di siya sasagot. Pag alam niya, ay, si Casey, kasi alam niya pauwi na ako. So, yun. Nung pag-uwi ko sa house, naramdaman ko, sabi ko, something is wrong. Parang iba yung feeling nung pagbaba ko sa house. Sabi ko, parang merong surprise. Parang may masusurprise ako. Until when I opened the door, yun. And he was in our couch. Yung favorite couch niya, lifeless. Alam ko as a doctor, I know sino yung tulog sa lifeless na.
When you opened the door and you saw him lying on the couch, immediately ang pumasok sa isip mo?
Wala na.
Wow.
I know, because of his color, his cyanotic, as in, naka-rigor mortis na, so sabi ko, he's lifeless. But, syempre, you're in the shock, you're in shock, nasa denial phase ka, I checked for his vital signs, wala. No pulses. So, tapos malamig na. So, sabi ko, wala. Pero,
this was in your bedroom?
Sa master's bedroom. So, wala talaga eh. Tapos, naisip ko, kahit wala na siya, I need to rush him in the hospital. For the death certificate, lahat. Alam ko eh, kasi syempre, hassle, the death certificate and everything. So, we rush. I called my sister and my mom. Sabi ko, balik sila. Wala na si Christian. Lahat sila. Di syempre, in shock. Takbo sila, since malapit lang sila sa bahay. So, balik sila sa bahay. We rushed Christian to the hospital, to the nearest hospital. Then, I don't know, it's God's way, God's plan talaga. Everything talagang sakto sa nangyari. That night, my batchmate, who is an ER doctor, was the one on duty at the emergency room. So, nakita niya ako. Sabi niya, Casey, anong nangyari? Sabi ko, si Chunky. Sabi ko, wala na. Pero, chinek niya. Sabi niya, wala eh, 0-0 talaga vital signs. Asystole, wala. So sabi niya, pero since ikaw yan, and it's Sir Chunky, we will do the resuscitation. The complete resuscitation. Yes. So nagre-resuscitate sila for 30 minutes. Pero sabi, alam ko, wala na. So, during the resuscitation, I called his brother, his family. Sabi ko lang, diretso. Sabi ko, wala na si Ayan. Kasi, Ayan ang nickname niya sa family. Sabi ko, wala na si Ayan. So, lahat sila in shock. Anong nangyari? It's around 11:30 p.m. So, they were all in shock. Talagang akala nila hindi totoo. Tapos, wala. Kasi you're in shock eh. So, disbelief. You're in that stage. So, wala talagang tears na tumutulo sa akin. Talagang, gano'n lang ako. Parang, naisip ko, nag-flashback sa isip ko, eto na, yung anticipatory grief na nararamdaman ko.
Nararamdaman mo that you cannot put a pin.
So, eto na pala yun. So, andun yung family ko. My sister, my parents, my brother-in-law, andun sila. Tapos, nag-sink in lang talaga sa akin na wala na siya nung nakita ko na yung cadaver bag. Kasi di ba nilalagay sa cadaver bag? So, sabi pa ng sister ko, ate, say goodbye to kuya. Doon talaga. Tapos sabi ko, wala na talaga. This is it. This is the reality. Wala na. So, nilagay na nila sa cadaver bag. Doon na nag-start. Sabi ko, wala na. Until sa funeral homes, we went straight to the funeral home. So, doon ko na-realize na ganito pala yung process.
You're both doctors. Did you plan on his, or in any of your death? Like, do you have a memorial plan?
Parang around August 2024, we talk about it. He told me that we should have a memorial plan kasi it's inevitable. So, all of us will that's the end point. So, sabi ko, pwede. Sabi ko, we can avail the memorial plan.
So, that's like a month before he passed away.
Pero, hindi pa namin, syempre, you're busy, you're at the prime of your career. So, sabi ko, siguro we can do that next year. We can avail a memorial plan maybe next year or the following years. So, yun lang. It's just impassing. So, until September 2024, as in totally, I was in shock na, okay, so what's the process? Ano ang process ba ng paglilibing? So, wala. So, ayun, hindi ko alam na yung dun pala sa kabaong, hindi pa pala included yung barong. So, ako pa palang mamimili. So, we went home. Ako yung namili ng barong. Hindi ko alam, barong ba, Americana. So, yun. So, yun pala yung process. Too early for that. Pero, syempre, yun naman ang ating ending talaga. Pero, too early, hindi ko ina-expect na
Gagawin mo at that age.
At that age,
Yeah.
39 years old.
Yeah.
So, yun lang, dun pala mag-start.
You know, I met you very early on. I think less than a month after Doc Christian passed away, reached out to me. When I saw you, I already shared this with you. You didn't look like the typical widow na
Oo.
iyak ng iyak. I mean, you were crying in between sharing with me the story. But you had this aura na parang you're very well put together, kalmado, lahat, no? But let's share with our audience, what did grief look like for you in the early weeks? Kasi ang haba ng lamay niya, di ba?
It's 12 days.
12 days.
The night na he died, sabi ko, malaking impact ito sa mental health ko. Yun talaga, ang
Pumasok ka agad
first,
sa
sabi
isip
ko,
mo.
for sure, may impact to sa mental health ko. May trauma, ayoko mag-lead into depression. So, it's like di ba, you're drowning, helpless ka. Ganun yung na-feel ko. Pero sabi ko, I have kids. I need to get over with this situation as soon as possible.
Grabe, no? At that time pa lang, meron ka ng realization na gano'n.
Alam ko may impact sa akin eh. Sabi ko, alam ko malaki ang impact nito. Pero hindi ako po pwedeng mag-dwell in that situation. I need to help myself so that I can help my kids also. Kasi alam ko, nakita nila, my mom is crying. So, if she's crying,
Iyak din
she's
sila.
weak. Oo, iyak din. They will cry also. So sabi ko, hindi kasi po pwedeng ganun eh. They draw their strength from me, so I need to be stronger for them. So,
Did
yun.
you carve time for your grief? Kasi alam ko, you resumed the activities of the kids to normal.
Yes.
Parang, you made sure they went to school, hinahatid mo pa rin. But was there a time during the day na you carved time na iiyak ako?
Actually, di ba nga sinabi ko sa'yo, during the 12-day wake, yung early in the morning, I was the one who bring this to school, yung mga kids. I bring them to school. So, between 9 a.m. to 12 noon, that's my grieving time. As in, I cried. Basta
Uwi ka
lahat.
sa bahay.
Yes, I cried. Kung sino mang makita ko doon, even my kasambahay, nakikita nila, cry lang ako. As in, I don't care kung anong itsura ko, kung anong sabihin ng kapitbahay. I don't care. I really don't care. So, kung sino mang kaharap ko that time, my in-laws, that time kasi during the week, andun sila sa akin. So, I let it out, everything. Yung mga feelings ko, talagang in-express ko lang. Every day. So, after that, syempre, kailangan kong, I need to prepare, I need to be presentable during the week. So, around 2 p.m. dun lang ako pupunta sa wake until 10 p.m. Pero sabi ko kasi, hindi naman po pwedeng during the wake, makikita nila ako na sobrang, yung itsura talaga ng namatayan. Syempre, I need to be presentable. Kasi syempre, kasi I'm the type of person kasi na, what you see is what you get. Hindi ako, I don't pretend, ganyan. So, usually, nakikita nila ako. I'm the more on alpha female. I can say, alpha female.
Yeah.
So, yun. So, siguro, my personality really helps me to overcome the situation. Mas practical kasi, lagi ko iniisip yung mental health ko. Lagi kong ikino-consider my kids.
What happened to Doc Casey is, at the time of grief, nangibabaw yung values niya for valuing your mental health. Alam mo, it will affect you. And what will affect you will affect the kids. So, you tapped into that values na, I need to be okay for my children. Lumabas yun. Naturally, kasi ikaw yun eh. Ikaw yun. And then, you know, as a person, you come across very practical, very pragmatic, and at the same time, bago pa lang tayong magtrabaho as coach-coachy, nakita ko na sa'yo na you really love life.
Yes.
Yung masayahin ka na tao. So, grief didn't change you. Would you say that it's true?
It made me stronger. It made me more independent. It made me more selfless. So, yun yun. Madami. Kasi sabi nga nila, grief is a unique character. It really depends on the personality of the person. It really depends on the relationship the person has to the one, or to the person, like to my husband. It really depends. So, grief has its own phase. So, that grief strengthened me to become a better person. So, I can say na...
And I want to say na if you're following Dr. Casey, talagang makikita mo na, life is moving. She traveled even less than 100 days after your husband passed away. But you're already a lover of life. Talagang gustong-gusto mong buhay, di ba? What has the sudden death of Doc Christian taught you? Ano pa bang lesson alam ko kasi ikaw, balansyado kayo. Work hard, pero gusto mo ring magbiyahe. You travel a lot. So parang meron kang ganong klaseng balance. But what has the death, a very early death of your husband taught you about life?
Well, actually, ganito yan. Si Christian kasi, parang yung 5-year plan niya, meron na, nakaset na yan. So, actually, 5-10 years. Meron siyang mga goals by after 5 years, after 10 years, dapat retired na siya. So, after the loss, it taught me that I need to live one day at a time. Sabi nga nila, yesterday is a history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. So, for me, yun yung naging focus ko eh. Naging
to be present.
Yeah. You just live one day at a time. Lift all your worries to God. Kasi siya lang magbibigay sa'yo ng peace of mind eh. So, nag-enjoy lang ako for yun today. Yung tomorrow, kung ano mangyari tomorrow, hindi ko na iniisip. What happened yesterday? Tapos na yun eh. You need to move forward. Kasi if you dwell sa past, wala eh. Magiging stagnant ka. You won't be functional. So, for me, I'll just focus on what is present. So, kasi yun ang sabi naman talaga eh. If puro worries ka sa buhay mo, after 5 years, after 10 years, what will happen to me? Hindi mag-move forward eh. Hindi ka mag-move forward. You will be stagnant. You will be paralyzed in that situation.
I have a lot of doctor friends. No? Parang, ang common sa kanila is, they believe there is a window sa buhay nyo as medical practitioners na parang, you're at the prime. Talagang kailangan i-optimize mo yun. Are you like that? Na parang gusto mo lahat ng oras dun sa window na yun, magtatrabaho ako, kikita ako ng pera?
Well, actually, yan yung focus namin mag-asawa. Kasi, syempre, I lost Christian, we are in the prime of our career. 39, 45. So, sabi kasi namin, mag-work ka, work, para by the age of 55, 60, retired. So, yes, nandun din kami. Ganun pa rin. Ganun naman ang aming parang nakaset yung goal namin. Pero nung nawala siya, sabi ko, yung work, andyan yan. My patients, they will come naman if they really like me, if they really like my service, So sabi ko, nag-work ako ngayon. I really work hard. Kasi wala naman ako ibang gagawin. For my kids, I really work hard. Pero at the same time, if I have time after work, I go to the gym, I meet friends, or I go to like salon, coffee shop, to have me time. So, binabalance ko ngayon. So, sabi ko, yes, I work. Pero, kailangan may balance eh. Kailangan, meron din akong time for myself.
That's what I noticed. I want to pick up on what you said. You go to the gym. That's what I noticed, that while we were doing our coaching, you had a very regular time in the gym. You were lifting weights, you're exercising. Was that a Parang, sinadya mo ba na I need to take care of myself?
Well, actually, 2022, kasi I gave birth 2019 sa youngest ko. Pero kasi, syempre, the weight gain, until na-realize ko 2022, sabi ko, hindi na ako. Kasi nagiging symptomatic na ako. Dizziness, my resting heart rate is like 110 beats per minute. BP ko, nagsushoot up 140, 150 resting BP. So sabi ko, I need to change my lifestyle. That's the time mas naging active ako. I do Muay Thai, boxing. So, yun. Until, sabi ko, kinakailangan, tuloy-tuloy ko yung lifestyle. Eto, nung nawala si Christian, one of my friends, sabi niya, Casey, if you're ready, let's enroll to the gym. Iba naman, let's lift weight. So, sabi ko, sige. Naging supportive siya sa akin. Sabi niya, samahan kita. Tapos yun, nag-enroll kami sa gym. That's the time, sabi ko naman, I don't like to be skinny kasi parang malayo na sa katotohanan yon. So sabi ko, gusto ko lang may activities ako, yung blood flow, everything, labs, normal. So yun, that's the time na natuwa ako, ay, okay pala mag-lift ng weights, masaya pala siya, akala ko, lift ka lang. So every time nasa gym ako, parang mas nagkakaroon ako ng peace of mind. Mas yung, alam mo yan, yung emotions mo, mas nawawala yung sadness, yung pain.
Kasi nga, dopamine, di ba?
Yes.
Parang...
Oo. So, masaya. Malaki ang naitulong sa akin yung active lifestyle.
Before Christian passed away, you loved to travel. I know you and I were already engaged, coach. And then you said, Tita, after Christmas ba yun or something, magbabiyahe kami. I made a decision, we will. Was it Dubai?
Dubai. Pero ang first noon, October. Di ba, he passed away September. So, October, tinuloy pa rin namin yung trip namin in Shanghai. So, yon. Then, after that, kasi nakabook din ang Dubai namin, New Year. We spent New Year in Dubai. So, tinuloy namin. Sabi ko, kasi ayokong ma-feel ng kids na, ay, nawala lang si daddy, hindi na kami nag-travel, nawala lang si daddy, nag-iba yung life namin. So, I want them to feel the same with or without their dad. So, sabi ko, tuloy.
Freeze frame. Dr. Casey, alam naman natin na in our society, parang there are expectations kung paano magmo-mourn ang isang tao. And I wouldn't say you did the opposite because ito ka na eh. Even before Christian passed away. So when you went ahead with your planned trips amidst the grief, karoon ka ba ng guilt feeling?
Wala. Basta during the trip, syempre, there are times na I cried. So, pero the guilt feeling wala eh. In-enjoy ko lang kasi I have my kids with me, my family. Kasi that time, I'm with my sister's family, my parents. So, in-enjoy ko lang. Sabi ko, meron lang talagang times na malungkot ako. But the guilt feeling, never. I never had that feeling ever after the loss. So, sabi ko, enjoy lang talaga ako. Yun lang siguro. Because of my personality, I don't care kung sabi na, ay, ganyan. Wala, never akong na-guilty na parang nag-celebrate ako, wala pang 40 days, it's okay. Sabi ko, ang iniisip ko, hindi po pwedeng matigil ang buhay ko because of that loss. So sabi ko, I need to continue with my life, and the kids need to continue with their life, kasi eto life is for the living. So sabi ko, bakit magpo-pause yung buhay ko because of the death of Christian? So sabi ko, tuloy lang. Sabi ko, ito lagi kong sinasabi, you only lived once. So sabi ko, so enjoy every moment. Hanggat merong opportunity, you should enjoy every moment.
You know, to the Life Tula podcast audience, you're really looking at a different phase of grief. No? Kakaiba siya, and it's not wrong. I'm highlighting this because I want to say that pwede ka namang malungkot. You can continue to honor the person and go on with life, no? Yes. Doktora, so many widows, no, feel kailangan nilang mamili na ano ba, Magluluksa ba ako o magiging masaya ako? Pero ikaw, na ipakita mo, you've shown that you can grieve and you can be happy. You can invite joy in your life, in your day-to-day. Like you go to the gym, you meet with friends. But on weekends, you find time to bring the kids to the grave of Christian, no? What helped you say yes to being happy without erasing the love that you have for your husband? Anong nakatulong? Or is it your nature?
Sabi ko naman kanina, it's my personality. Malaking contribution or factor is because of my values, my personality. So it really helped me to overcome this situation. So siguro yung kasi yung pagiging practical. Sabi ko hindi na kasi maibabalik yung past. So I need to move forward lang with the life. So it really helped me a lot na maging okay, na maging okay kami ng kids. So, yung mismong value. Actually, siguro din kasi, I saw it sa parents ko, with the people around me, na hindi mo naman kasi kailangan mag-dwell sa past. Yun nga, hindi mo ko kailangan mag-dwell. So, malaking factor yan.
You have 2 daughters, no? How do you model to your daughters na pwede tayong masaya, but we still love daddy? Parang, how do you show it to them?
During night, kukwentuhan ko sila. So I asked them, do you still miss your dad? Sabi niya, sometimes, mommy, I miss daddy, ganyan. Sabi ko, pero, ngayon, do you still miss your dad? Sabi niya, actually, no na, mommy. Not that, sabi niya, na-remember nila, but they are not sad but I'm not sad anymore. Sabi ko, why? Because, mommy, you're here. You're here with us. Kasi ako yung tipo ng tao na hindi ko sa kanila itinatago. If I feel like crying or that time I'm sad, kikita nila iyak lang ako. And then after an hour or after ilang minutes, okay na.
Okay ka na naman.
I showed up for them. Okay na. Mommy is here na. Oh, iba na ulit si mommy. Maglalaro na tayo or lalabas na tayo, kakain na tayo sa labas. So, nakikita siguro nila na, si mommy okay.
Okay na umiyak.
Okay naman pala. Okay umiyak. Tapos after nun, okay na ulit siya. So, siguro, feeling ko, kasi na sila matured na sila. So, alam nila na si mommy malungkot ngayon. Then after, okay na siya. So, masaya na ulit sila. Dati pag nakikita nila akong umiiyak, talaga nakatingin lang sila sa akin. Then, nag-hug sila.
And that's one of the reasons why you try to bounce back.
Yes.
For them.
Yes, for them. Kasi sabi ko nga, kung walang kids, siguro, magiging iba din ang perspective ko. Kasi isipin ko, wala na ako kasama sa buhay. So, eto, meron akong 2 kids. I know kahit na tumanda ako, they will take care of me. So, hindi ako natatakot na, mag-isa na lang ako tatanda because I have my 2 kids. So, sabi ko, alam naman nila na mahal ko sila. So, alam kong in the future, when they're old na, they will take care of me. Yun.
Doktora, there are many widows. Alam mo naman yan, di ba, that I'm also managing several clients who are widows. What message can you give to them? They may be going through the same thing that you're going through. Ang kalimitan na tanong is, kailangan ko bang mamili, maging masaya o maging malungkot? What message or what advice can you give them?
Sabi nga nila, grief and joy can coexist. So you're grieving, but you're still enjoying. Actually, it really depends on your values, on your perspective in life. So first and foremost, your faith in God, syempre. Before kasi I never ever doubted God. Since day 1, Christian left us. So yung faith ko talaga mas kumapit ako. Mas malakas. Prioritize your faith. Prioritize your values.
Anong advice mo sa mga widows na gusto namang mag-move forward? What tips can you give them? Kasi ikaw, you very practical yung approach.
Kasi, di ba sinabi ko naman sa'yo, just 1 week after the death of Christian, lahat ng gamit niya, tinanggal ko na or tinago ko. Kasi nga for me, every time makikita ko yon, it triggers my emotions. So, lahat ng makaka-trigger sa emotions ko, tinanggal ko. Even his pictures, tinanggal ko. So, nag-resume ako sa work as early as like 7 days after ng libing niya. So, yung pag-resume mo sa daily activities, yun, hindi ka kasi po pwedeng maging mas-stuck dun sa, ay, nawala siya, kailangan kong magluksa. Hindi. Kinakailangan mong i-resume yung activities mo and also do new activities. So, yun yung gagawin mo. Yun yung tip ko for other widows. Kasi, yung iba kasi, lalo tayo, Filipino tayo, very traditional. May tinatawag sila na kinakailangan mo, mag-mourn ka talaga ng malungkot for 1 year or magluluksa ka. For me kasi, yes, okay yun as Filipino. Pero kasi ngayon sa panahon, ang taas na ng mental health issues, di ba? Ang taas na ng depression. So, kinakailangan na natin siyang i-modify. So, ngayon, kinakailangan mong mag-enjoy pa rin, na hindi naman siya kinakalimutan, but tinutuloy mo lang yung buhay mo. Oo, kasi I'm only 39 that time. I'm only 40, turning 41. I still have like 40, 50 years ahead of me pa, na kung ma-stuck ako in that situation, paano na yung another 10 years, 20 years ko? I have my kids. So, kinakailangan ko mas maging productive for the coming years. So, that's my tip for the widows, for other widows, na yung loss, hindi yun ang magpapastuck sa'yo or magpapastagnant sa'yo. It will fuel your life na mas maganda pa. Mas maging productive pa yung life mo. Madami ka kasing madidiscover throughout your journey. So, maybe, yun yung talaga yung natutunan ko with this situation, with this kind of loss. Masakit, pero kaya siya.
I have learned from Dr. Casey that amidst your grief, you can go on with the business of living. Kasi yun ang ginawa mo eh. Like, slowly, you resumed your clinic. Pero alam ko din na may mga araw na pag malungkot ka, sasabihin mo, okay, kung wala naman akong urgent, hindi mo na ako pupunta ng ospital. No? Don't get us wrong. She went through what you guys went through, except in her mind, ang priority niya is mental health. Kasi alam niya, she has 2 kids to take care of. Hindi pa natin dito pinag-usapan yung mga practical stuff, paperworks, lahat na kailangan gawin. No? So, this is what I picked up from you. I want to be able to put together like 3 lessons that we've learned from Dr. Casey Akdal. Grief and joy, sabi niya nga. Grief and joy can coexist. Pwede silang magsabay. You know, Dr. Akdal showed us that healing doesn't mean forgetting. Allowing your joy to come back, going back to your day-to-day life, traveling. Nakikita ko nga minsan, local yung travel nyo, dyan lang sa Cavite and all of that. It's all a form of honoring. And I'm sure Dr. Chunky will say, okay, si Casey, napapasaya niya yung mga anak namin kahit wala ako. So that's one lesson. The second lesson is, yung healing is embodied, no? Na isa katawan niya, yung movement niya, the new experiences. Sabi niya nga, hindi lang importante to resume life, but you also have to create new activities. Our bodies can carry grief, but they can also carry us back into the world, like what you did. No? And number 3, which to me is one of the biggest legacy, living fully is really part of your legacy. Value mo ito eh. This is a value that you will continue to impart to your 2 daughters. You live now not just for your own healing, but so you can model to your daughters that life can be joyful even after loss. So to anyone listening today, if you are grieving, and I hope you've listened to Dr. Casey Akdal, and you've felt moments of joy, please don't shut them down. Joy doesn't mean you're not loving the person that you lost or you're over them. Joy means you're still alive. Andito ka pa. And sometimes, that's the most courageous thing you can be. To our guests and to my dear friend, thank you for reminding us that love doesn't end and life doesn't have to either. Until next time, this is the Life Tula podcast where we talk about death, grief, and the radical act of choosing life.